If you're an affiliate marketer, a network marketer, a coach, solopreneur, and you're trying to build your business and you're trying to figure out how to use AI and automation while still staying authentic, you're in the right place because today we have a very special guest. David Asarnow is here. David, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you here today because I know you're an expert in this subject.
Gloria, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, David, our viewers, our listeners, are solopreneurs, they're network marketers, affiliate marketers. And interestingly, just last week, I got an email from um, a network marketer, fairly big name, but it was an even bigger name who'd written the email talking about AI and how you shouldn't be using AI because you can't be authentic and you can't be you. And she doesn't like AI and it's all phony and everything else. How do you respond to that when you hear that from somebody?
Uh, Interesting. If
Yeah.
you, how do I respond? That's interesting. And like anything, 6 months ago, when we started doing AI and AI deployments and implementations, people said the same thing for regular business. People aren't going to want to talk to an AI. Today, it's not should you do it? It's will you do it and when? And why? There's one big important word that when you're building a business, it's called leverage. And you can't answer the phone 24/7. You can't answer text messages 24/7. However, today it's become possible to create AI agents that have empathy or they perceive to have empathy because everything's programmed in. It can communicate like you can, it can answer questions, it can follow up. What do people want more than anything? When they want information, when do they want it?
Now.
Yeah, they want it now. And how many of you, I mean, seriously, do you like waiting on hold? Do you like going to a call tree? No. However, I believe in authenticity. See, authenticity through artificial intelligence. When I'll build an agent for someone, I'll have it answer, "Hi, this is David. I'm Gloria's AI assistant. I'm here to help you. Please give me an opportunity to serve you. And if at any time you feel that I can't serve you, let me know and I'll be able to transfer you to someone else." Is that fair? Great. May I start with may I start with your name, please? Hey, Gloria. What brings you here today? What kind of information do you look for? How can I best serve you? And all of a sudden, when you have an AI that actually listens, what do people want more than anything else? They want to be heard, right? What do most humans do when we're having a conversation? They're thinking about halfway through the sentence, they're already thinking how they're going to respond. The great news about artificial intelligence done the right way is it actually listens to hear and then it responds based upon the context window, the core instructions on how you build it. And so much so that we've we've built out I'll call it a 29-step artificial intelligence funnel, and really, it is someone putting out an ad for information. The AI can answer a call. It can respond via text message, via email. And the whole idea here is, and we all know this, speed to lead. If you're putting information in a website, you're distracted. By the time you put your information in, you've already got another ad coming at you. And if you don't respond within 72 hours and book an appointment, do whatever the action is, the chances of you doing that are slim to none. However, what do most people do? They put them into an automation sequence. They sit there and they follow up and they're like, I'm getting bad leads. No, leads aren't bad. Marketing always says is not following up on the leads. Marketing always says sales always says marketing is giving me bad leads. How do you bridge that gap? Communication. The great news with AI, it works, but it all begins with you thinking through the entire process of a best case situation. If you're running, you just gave me an idea. If you're running for information about a network marketing product or service,
Yep.
and years ago, I had a website that I had ranked an AI for a network marketing company, and people would just sign up based upon the Google search and the website. I never talked to one person, but they started buying products and whatnot. And the upline person took care of everyone because I had the marketing skill side of things down. And they're like, just get more people. And I'm like, okay, cool. And today, what would I do if I had a site like that? I'd integrate an AI funnel. Hey, ask me any questions. Interested in the opportunity? Ask me any questions. Interested in the product? Ask me any questions. You can build an AI engine that has a real conversation with someone that will then prompt them to that next step. Hey, based upon what I'm hearing, it sounds like you'd actually be a really good fit for this opportunity. Would it be okay if we schedule a time to meet? I think Gloria would really like to speak with you. See, there's things that you can do with AI, and the amazing thing is whether they're talking and mostly going to be texting. If you do things the right way, you can actually get people raising their hand, moving forward, and taking that next action quicker, faster, and easier than if you did it in the old school methods.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Completely and totally agree with you. Now let's talk a bit about storytelling because I'm I love how we can use AI these days for um, once the prospect, the lead hits the funnel, doing all of that. What about using AI in the storytelling process to get the prospect to the point where we get them in the funnel? How can we, yeah, talk a little bit about that because I know you're big on storytelling, as am I.
Okay, well, it's funny that you said that because I just had a flashback to 1992, and I was a couple years out of college, and I had my first job in sales. And I got an opportunity, a network marketing opportunity that I became part of. And I bought a list of business opportunity seekers.
Hmm.
I got and I got it by state. I got their name, their phone number, and their state. And when I got done with my regular 9 to 5 sales job, I would start calling people from this before I was engaged before. So I was literally working all day and night because it was all about creation, opportunity, right?
Right.
And from say 5 to 7 p.m., I'd call the East Coast, and then I'd call from 7 to 8, I'd call Central, and then 8 to 9, I'd call Mountain, and 9 to 10, I would call the Pacific. And back then, I remember the guy who signed me up. He said, "You don't need to know anything. All you need to do is I have this phone number that people can call." And I would call people up and say, "Hey, Gloria, my name is David Asarnow. I know you don't know me. I was giving your name to someone who's looking for a business opportunity. Is that the case?" And they say, "Yes," or "Where'd you get my name?" I don't know where I got your name. However, if you'll give me 3 minutes, I'll tell you about the opportunity. If you're interested, we'll continue the conversation. If you're not, that's okay too. You have 3 minutes? And most people would say yes. And they say, "Give me a second. I'm going," and I three-way it on the recording. They listen to a recording, and then I'd hang up the recording and I say, "So Gloria, are you interested based upon what you heard?" And I signed up over 90 people in 90 days. Okay.
Wow.
And I saw
Yeah.
Janice just go, wow. To me, I wasn't doing, I th the company went out of business. And I was like, man, I worked my butt off and I got all these people and they went out of business. And then I gave up on the industry. Um, what was wrong reason to give up? But anyway, I've done pretty well over the years going directly into becoming an entrepreneur and building things myself. But when I tell you that story, right, it's
Yeah.
all a story because what would I do today? So I would, if it was me and I was a leader, I'd create an AI agent that I'd clone my voice and I would tell the opportunity. I would say, "Hey, Brad, this is David. I've got Gloria here with me. Could you tell a little bit about the opportunity to Gloria? And then if she has any questions, we'll answer it. Sound good?" And I train the agent to go along just like it was a human and tell the story. Why? It's always easier to resort to the higher authority, have something or someone else. I've got an agent that's gonna explain the opportunity. I'll three-way them on. You'll get to hear it, and at the end, you and I will have a conversation if this makes sense for you. Sound good, Gloria? So it's no different than I did back then, except now it's not just a recording. It can go deeper. It can if you have every objection that someone has, you can program it in to overcome any objection. See, the biggest challenge that we have is people don't want to talk to other people, especially the people that they know, like, or trust because of the reputation that you can tell I've been in network marketing because I know all the challenges, right? The,
Yeah.
so what do you use? Well, let me see when my upline is available so they can get on a call with me and scheduling that call. And that goes a half an hour. The fact of the matter is, in 5 minutes or less, you can get someone either saying, yes, no, I'm not interested. And I'm not interested doesn't mean no, it means not yet because we haven't done enough, but we now get to build a relationship and maybe get them on the product.
So you would actually have an AI agent and you would tell your prospect, I've got this really cool AI agent who's here to talk to us. Are you open to having a conversation? A 3 minute
That's called
conversation?
being off. That's being called authentic and transparent. Why not?
Absolutely.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I
Totally.
mean,
And
here's
and
the
then
thing. Everyone wants systems. People are like, okay, I've got an app on my phone. I've got an app on my phone that you can utilize. Okay, great. I've got an app on my phone. Everyone's trying to use systems, but why not use a system that can convert better than anything else, which is communication?
yeah, absolutely. And as a leader, you'd love that because then you don't have to get on three-way calls all the time, right? And and you know that you've got something that your team members can use and they don't have to freak out about overcoming objections because you can program all that into AI these days. I mean, it was interesting going back to that email that I got. My reaction, they actually, the person who forwarded the email actually said at the end, agreed completely with the person who had originally written the email and said, let me know what you think of AI or what you think of this email. And I wanted to respond because I know him and he's actually like more than 20 years younger than I am. And I wanted to say, are you kidding me? You really don't think we should be using AI? You are so stuck and you're so far behind already. You're crazy if you're not using AI today.
Here's the difference I can tell you. If you take the secret in AI is not, and it's funny because I have an AI company and I can make even the most basic AI sound 90% as good as my more expensive AI. It's because most
Interesting.
people don't know is the core instructions. I'm actually teaching at an entrepreneur event. Everyone's $1 million plus company, and there'll be 2,000 people there. I'm doing a probably up to 400 person basic AI training workshop, and then the next day it's a 2 hour deep dive where we'll build agents and things like that. And the interesting thing is when you build you the most important thing is understanding how to communicate with AI. And I've had an engineer tell me I'm probably one of the best that he's seen, better than him as an engineer. Why? I understand human psychology. I've been in marketing. I literally have been in marketing and advertising my entire life. I went to school for it. I studied it beforehand. In college, I got a degree in it. And I'm probably one of the few people who still does what they've been doing. I've been doing it
Yeah.
for 35, 40 years, right? And when you look at it, most people don't ask really good and powerful questions. When you see studies out there, well, the people's prefrontal cortex is going numb because they're using artificial intelligence. Well, they're not doing it the right way then, because AI is so smart. It's smarter than most PhDs. You're talking about Mensa smart, and it speaks to most people on a fifth grade level because that's where most people operate from. But if you think about AI as your most intelligent coach, mentor, guide, sparring partner that is able to challenge you, ask you questions that you don't even know how to answer, so you really got to think. Not only are you going to challenge and your mind's going to grow, but you're going to be able to create something that is absolutely amazing. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine is one of the highest paid non-celebrity public speakers for the past 15 years since before I met, one of the highest paid. And he was telling me that And funny thing is, we met on an airplane flying first class going to Vegas, where I was going this week back then. And we he was talking to me about I've using AI and it just not doesn't work right. It's just so basic and it's so generic. And I'm like, yeah, it probably is. He's like, but I really put some time into it. And I said, I'll come over your house and we'll sit down. He's like, yeah, let's take 30 minutes and then we'll go for a walk. I said, no, we're going to need 2 hours. We're not going to have time for go for a walk and chat. We'll catch up another time. So he showed me what he did. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I know why you're getting generic answers. I said, you want to go through my process? It took us an hour just to build the prompt.
Mm.
Okay, think about that. It took an hour to build the prompt, let alone any refinement. So we were about an hour and a half in, and then I left and he told me, Dave, this was so cool. He said, actually, I spent the next 3 hours continuing to refine it based on what you taught me. So the difference is most people just say, write me a letter, do this. Versus if you think through every bit and component of that front end conversation, you're going to get a drastically different result on the other side. And that's exactly what, when you think about why some agents and why I know that I can create an agent for someone that will work better than 95% of them out there. And by the way, I made up that statistic.
Yeah.
But why do I think that it would do that? It's because of how much thought process went in the front end and testing and challenging it and proving it so that we know that it will actually work. So, but yeah, you can I can tell you this. I can get an AI funnel agent follow-up system, including landing pages for someone for less than $500 a month. It includes the voice, the text follow-up, and a landing page for them.
Wow. Now, this is perfect timing because ChatGPT just launched its 5.0 and its agent thing 2 weeks ago, right? So, um, interesting.
This is different than that, but the agent things even takes it to a whole nother level. I have a
Oh,
client of mine that had hired a VA. He's an attorney and he's looking for potential cases. So he has software that shows where lawsuits are going on and which ones. So he trained a VA in the Philippines to do it, and they got him some business. Take it. I said, here's the thing with AI. He's like, well, she's not understanding what she doesn't understand my instructions. Maybe it's a language barrier. I said, well, or you're not being clear. Here's the thing. If you can be 100% clear where AI can actually solve it for you, you're being clear and she's the problem, right? And so he built an AI agent in ChatGPT using the new system. And guess what? He got more qualified leads in 2 hours than the live human did in a week.
mm,
Because the new agent can actually log into your software. It can do searches. It can do things for you. You can have it now communicate to the next thing, upload the information into a Google Sheet. You today for mundane tasks, you can train an AI agent to do 90% of it. And here's the thing on the voice side, I believe, based upon what I've seen, that an AI agent can answer over 80% of what you need, and then you escalate the rest. So if you think about that, I have a meeting tomorrow with a busy doctor's office that focuses in on cash pay because they do more on the natural functional wellness. And they said the
mhm.
biggest problem they have is answering phone calls and answering people's questions and getting appointments booked. I don't have time to train people and I have a lot of turnover in that position. With AI, you train it once at the highest level and it's always going to perform at the level that you accept.
Love it. David, thank you so much for this. I mean, you've just given us so much to think about, and I so appreciate it. So,
My
David,
pleasure.
yeah, if people want to find out more about you and what you're doing, and maybe there's some leaders listening to this who are, or people who don't necessarily have big teams, but maybe they want to take something to their leader and say, hey, you know, you should be talking to this guy. How should people get in touch with you? Or
Well, if you want to follow me on social, Instagram, real David Asarnow, not the fake one, the real one. Otherwise, my company you can see behind me, it's Business Nitrogen.
Okay, businessnitrogen.com, right?
This is nitrogen.com. If you want to test out an AI agent, go to sababa.global, Sababa Global, sababa.global, and there's an agent on there that you can talk to and play around with.
Zababa Global. Love it.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much, David. Really appreciate it.
my pleasure.